I've used Fiverr for game development a lot. I've paid developers to make the same games as each other. I've paid developers to remake games. I've even paid developers to work on my games. But in this video, I wanted to see what would happen if I paid different Fiverr developers to remake my games. This video has been sponsored by Fiverr. Fiverr is a website where you can hire freelancers for freelance services, like, for example, game development. You can pay different freelancers on Fiverr to help make your games, or like in this video, you can just get Fiverr game developers to make games for you. There are plenty of different very high level Fiverr game developers ready to create games for you, so if you're interested in checking out any of the sellers from this video, or you just want to check out Fiverr game development, you can use any of my links in the description, and you can also use the code BGD10 for 10% off. Anyway, let's see what we got from Fiverr. For our first developer, we went with a developer called Julio HQ. They offered a service where they would develop a 2D game with the Godot engine. A game of mine they were remaking was You Probably Won't Survive. You Probably Won't Survive is a top-down zombie shooter where the player tries to survive waves of zombies and other monsters. I paid this seller $30, and here's what we got. Alright, so here we are with our first game, which is a remake of You Probably Won't Survive. As you see, we have a menu here, and we can go ahead and create a new game, and there we go. Looks like we've got time until next wave. We've got a character here. We've got our hotbar, which has our pickaxe, our axe, and our gun. And there's a zombie. Alright, let's take the zombie out. Cool. So yeah, this is a pretty good remake of You Probably Won't Survive. Overall, the game's fun, the wave system's good, it's turned out pretty good. For the next developer, we went with a developer called Matthias Hogan. They offered a service where they would create a 2D game in Unity. The game of mine they were remaking was Bad Platformer. Bad Platformer is a platform game that I created to try and make the worst game ever, as this game was purposefully glitchy. I paid this seller $100, and here's what we got. Alright, so here's the remake of Bad Platformer. So let's go ahead and start the game. And as you can see, it looks like we have a platform game. So we can go ahead and move around the map here. We got some enemies, that's good. And it seems like the game is glitchy. So obviously the original point of Bad Platformer was to try and make the worst game ever. Nice. So the game was very glitchy on purpose, and it seems like this game is also kind of glitchy, which is, yeah. And there we go, we've won. So the seller has created a prototype for a remake of Bad Platformer. The game's glitchy. So yeah, for the next developer, we went with a developer called Steeder29. They offered a service where they would develop a game in Unreal Engine. A game of mine they were remaking was Combat.io. Combat.io is a top-down fake multiplayer fighting game where players compete in an endless battle arena. I paid this seller $300, and here's what we got. Alright, so here we are with the remake of Combat.io, and they've remade Combat.io, which was a top-down 2D game, into a 3D game. So let's go ahead and enter the match. Obviously, the original Combat.io was a fake multiplayer game, so it's created to seem like a real multiplayer game. So let's enter the match and see what happens. And here we go, our game has started. So this is really cool. We're in a 3D environment here, and we have our first enemy, so we're gonna try to take him out. All right, let's go back it up. Oh, okay. We can move our character around, and we can click to battle any enemies. All right, I need to play a bit more strategically. These things here, by the way, are essentially boosters. So in the original Combat.io, there were boosters you could collect. One was a shield, one was strength, one was speed, and they basically help you in the match. And it seems like these enemies here are collecting some. So let's get the shield booster. And is it the shield booster? I don't know. It might be different in this game because this is a remake. Whoa, okay. Nice. If we press space, we can do this little move here. Yo, he's got a sword. All right. All right. All right, we've got this enemy after us here, so we're going to try to take the enemy out. Nice. This game turned out really good. They've taken the original Combat.io and essentially transformed it into a 3D game. And there we go. That's what we received from Fiverr. Once again, if you'd like to check out any of the sellers from this video or check out Fiverr Game Development, you can use my links in the description and use the code BGD10 for 10% off. If you would like to see more of my content, you can visit my website over at badgamedev.fun. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to leave a like, comment, and you can also subscribe.